to give them a proper Olympian welcome. Can we get the USA rolling here? Here we go. USA! 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 USA!
Well played.
Woo!
Well played.
Perfect.
Welcome, guys. Welcome. Meryl, you've been here before. Charlie, it's your first time.
Yeah, this is exciting.
But you did get the memo on the dress code.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Charlie and I coordinate our outfits.
when he says memo, we talked
Yes.
about it for 30 minutes last night.
I
So
was like, don't worry about coordinating with Meryl. Just coordinate with me. Let's get the shirt here. Let's get it going. So we got to start with some sad news.
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about here this morning. You guys announced that.
Yeah, I mean, it's bittersweet. It is sad in a way, but Charlie and I announced this morning that we've decided not to return to the Olympics in Pyeongchang in 2018. And like I said, in a way, it feels sad, but it's a decision that we took 3 years to make, which is a long time. And we were asked the question many, many times, are you coming back? And it took us that long because we wanted to do the decision justice and really think it through and leave ourselves open to every opportunity over the course of those 3 years. And so on the other hand, it's also very exciting because we feel like we made the decision of our own accord, which is always a nice way to come to some sort of conclusion.
And just so everyone knows, this is not retirement. Not
right.
retirement.
Yeah, no, this isn't
Your
retirement.
publicist is watching somewhere. Lynn, this is
Yeah.
not retirement.
She threatened our lives.
she threatened my life. So does that mean the door is open for like 2022? Would you guys consider?
I mean, 2022 would be interesting, but not as interesting as 2026. So that's a challenge right there.
Yes, we're gonna wait until our children are old enough to compete against us, and then we're gonna pair up with them and compete against each other. So that's
So you said you were making a decision for sort of like 3 years. Like, what were the things that I guess went into why you decided to take this?
I mean, honestly, it's almost hard to think of, you know, what didn't go into this decision because, I mean, we've skated together for 20 years. It's our lives, you know, it really is. And in stepping away from being competitive skaters, we sort of took on new roles and, you know, we found energy and time and a lot of love in being ourselves, not as athletes. And, you know, just when you're an athlete and you know, you have to inherently be selfish and with your energy, with your time, and, you know, with your families, with your friends. And since the Olympics, I got married and, you know.
He got married. We like that. We like that.
All right. Yeah, here it is.
We're going to talk about the married life later as well.
Everyone compliments it. But no, I mean, just being able to be an active participant in so many of these other areas of our lives outside of skating was such a thrill and something that, you know, we hadn't had the opportunity to enjoy, and it's a big part of something that we don't want to let go of. So I think that's a big reason why.
Was there anyone in your life who was like, no, don't do it?
You know, I think the people.
And I can be that guy. If
yes.
there wasn't anyone.
we won't let on that you called us last night and said, I'm rethinking this decision. You know, I think the people closest to us, I'm grateful that they trust us enough to let us make our own decisions. No one was like, I know you think you know what you're doing, but you don't. No, but I mean, we've had such an incredible support system, and I think we feel really strongly about the fact that that support system played such a huge role in our success as competitors and as Olympians, and it's what got us you know, to the top of the Olympic podium, but it's also something that we're incredibly grateful to have as we move forward into other experiences. And they've continued to support whatever our decisions might be.
I know there are a lot of relieved ice dancers around the world that you guys made this decision this morning. Not everyone is sad, I think.
Yeah, maybe.
We have a chance. We have a chance now that these guys are not going. All right, well, let's go on to other topics, obviously. I saw you guys performing this morning in Rockefeller Center, and I just want to say it was very sassy compared to what I've seen. You like that word? Good. Compared to your Olympic routines. So now that you guys are sort of free of having to worry about Olympic judges, what can we expect from you guys? You know, you're doing Stars on the Ice, and what's going in? Who choreographed this morning's routine?
Yeah, you know.
If you guys haven't seen it, there's some I don't know if I could say ass on AWOL Build, producers. There's some ass slapping, yes?
Yeah.
It's more of like an upper hip. but
Okay, an
Yeah.
upper
This
hip
is a,
slap.
this
Keep
is
it
a
clean.
family-friendly.
Yes, we're gonna
show
keep it
program.
clean. It's upper hip.
And at the end of the routine, there was kind of like a, I don't know, like
Roll.
some nice club moves, I thought.
Yes. I mean, as we're getting into the position on the Today Show, we just whisper like sass to each other, so we're on the same wavelength as to how entertaining we should be. But that's really what it comes down to. Is we. In stepping away from the competitive aspects, we're able to take on this very this brave new world of entertainment and what it means to be an entertainer on the ice. Because so much of what we do in competition is interesting, but it's for the judges and it's very technically specific. And now we can sort of open up artistically and our heart and soul to the audience and invite them into our story and in what we want to accomplish, and that's something that we're really excited to do here. You can see I've on Stars on Ice.
That
I like
dip.
the hair as well.
Yeah, thank you. Or are you talking to Meryl?
Both of you guys.
Just joking.
I
I'm
just
talking to
assumed
me.
you were talking about Charlie. That's one of the things too. Not to backtrack, but I think that's one of the things that really went into making that decision, and that's why it took us, in part, 3 years to make, is because we've been on the ice for a great part of that 3 years, evolving and learning how to perform better than we ever did before. And so in learning, growing, and having these different experiences, we feel like we have grown as figure skaters and athletes and performers. And so I think we were saying earlier, there was a little bit of a push and pull over the course of those 3 years, and that was a big part of the pull, like we are better potentially than we were, but ultimately still moving in the direction of new experiences outweighed the other.
Are there any moves that you always wanted to do but just couldn't because of the Olympic judges, and now you're just kind of letting loose on?
Yeah, of course. The Iron Lotus. I don't know if you guys are familiar. We've been practicing it, but it's not competition legal. So.
Will we get to see that in Stars on Ice?
Yes, definitely. Bank on that and come see us do the Iron Lotus in Stars on Ice. I think I wouldn't say there's necessarily any specific moves. Of course, for us, I think it's so much of what we've grown to love about ice dancing, because when I was young, I was like a hockey player. I loved doing crazy lifts, and I loved skating really fast and skating faster than all of the other competitors. And then as I matured, I started to understand the role of storytelling and the role of the relationship in ice dance and what that can bring to the table. And so I think if anything, maybe we're disappointed to not be able to tell certain stories in competition, but the great thing is that we still have the outlet to do it in Stars on Ice.
And what does your creative process look like with the two of you? Like, do you both come up with ideas? Like, how do you, now that you're getting this sort of this freedom, how do you design your?
Well, it's always very different, because for a show like Stars on Ice, where we know we have a full tour, we have a lot of time to really think about what's going to be most effective, what's the audience going to enjoy most. And so we put a lot of time and thought into the music and the choreography and the costumes. But Charlie and I are also on the road like 80% of the time. So sometimes we have a couple days to prepare for a show, and we're really putting a lot of hours on the ice to make sure that we're ready for that one show that we didn't necessarily have a lot of time to prepare for. But I think one of the things that's really changed for us, and one of the beautiful things about, for example, being on Dancing with the Stars, is that we have access to a whole new world of artists. We've worked with Charlie's partner from Dancing with the Stars, Sharna, choreographed 2 programs.
Yeah, give it up. I like it.
Yeah, Sharna.
So sort of being able to tap into that realm of creativity and just being inspired by them and working with people outside of the skating world has been something that we've really tried to embrace since entering that type of atmosphere.
Has your dancing experience influenced your ice dancing experience?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, like you saw on the ice today, that was not something that we would have been even comfortable attempting publicly on a dance floor, at a wedding, maybe a couple years ago. And just the ability to find new ways to move and new ways to express ourselves has been a lot of fun. And yeah, I mean, it's not perfect, but you can tell that it's heartfelt.
I was already excited to see you guys dancing again in Stars on Ice. Where can people catch you? Where's the tour taking you?
Well, we'll be starting in Fort Myers, April 13th, and then we travel east to west. I think it ends in Seattle, might be the last stop.
Yeah,
throughout May.
It's hard for us to remember stuff, just generally. So we would direct everyone to starsonice.com
Got it.
Good call.
because
They're not actually at those dates, by the way. So.
Actually, every time someone asks me my availability, I go to starsonice.com to see where I am in the country. At
I'm
that
actually
point.
been wondering, where am I right now? Am I on TV?
We are. Okay. Hey, well, everywhere. So let's talk about the last 4 years, because you guys have had definitely an interesting ride. Well, Charlie mentioned earlier, but you got married. How is that? Now we got to clap. People like, oh, you got married?
Clap for me.
Come on.
Ah.
I don't think they're enthusiastic that you got married.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, I got married, and that was spectacular. Coming up on 2 years, and we will have been together for nearly 8 years.
Wow.
And we actually, my wife, Tanith White, formerly Tanith Belbin, also an ice dancer. We competed against each other at the 2010 Olympics when we first started dating. And, I think a lot of people were scratching their heads, but, it turned out for the best. It turned out for the best, and it's really been the greatest experience of my life, and something that I do not take for granted. I think I would encourage everyone to find someone special, because
Is this a message to Meryl?
No. Meryl's found somebody. So for everybody out there watching, if you take one thing away from this, let it be that Charlie White encourages relationships. But it's just, it's been...
His new motivational tour begins now.
That's right. You're welcome. No, I mean, it's just been so special in stepping away from competition to be able to enjoy the world, but also, it's just enhanced so greatly when you can enjoy it with someone else. And I really think that's the best part of being married.
Meryl, what was his wedding like? That's what I want to know. Did you cry? Was it like a lot of dancing?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just envisioning something crazy.
Well, Charlie and Tanith, have a beautiful relationship, and they have obviously been in love for a very long time. So to just have seen that whole journey and get to see them finally prioritize that was really exciting, because like Charlie said, as an athlete, you have to be selfish. And so the people in our lives, especially, our significant others, Tanith is an Olympic medalist herself, and so she really understood, the decisions that went into making your career as successful as you possibly can. So I think noticeably, everything else sort of fell to the wayside at their wedding, and they could just sort of celebrate what they meant to each other, which was really beautiful. And then selfishly as well, Charlie and I have been skating together for 20 years, so I've known his whole family for a long time. So I sort of was like, oh, Aunt Sally, so good to see you.
Meryl was shwasted also.
These are the details
Totally
we need.
wasted. No, I'm joking.
Dancing on the table.
But it was...
Don't talk.
Don't tell anybody.
Do people still ask you, because I know as you guys were leading up to the Olympics, people are always like, are you guys dating? Do you still get questions like that, or has it now, people got the memo finally?
Yeah, every once in a while every once in a great while we get that question. And we're like, how don't you know this already? No, I'm just kidding. No, yeah, every once in a while.
Well, you guys obviously have such a great relationship, so comfortable with each other. And
yeah, no, we've always taken it as a compliment when people ask us that, because part of what we do is, like Charlie said, storytelling on the ice. And so if in some way people interpret our close friendship or what we do on the ice as, maybe it is a romantic relationship, then there's nothing wrong with them thinking that. And
it just means that we did a good job of telling that story a lot of times.
Right.
Awesome. And now, Meryl, you've been in college.
Yes.
And we were discussing this earlier. You are almost done.
Yeah, I have 27 credits left. So Charlie and I have been going to University of Michigan since 2006.
How many credits away are you? Wait, did you say 2006?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on a good program.
Not doctors.
I know. And I'm reaching the age now when people are like, oh, what do you do for a living? And I'm like, I'm in college. And they do ask,
like, you're still here.
Are you in a PhD program? No, I'm in undergrad still.
What is your major?
Anthropology for me.
Political science.
Political science. And I know I saw an article entitled Charlie White is Speaking Out More. I don't know if I got the title right, but you've, I think, recently decided to use your platform
Yeah, I would recommend everyone go to my social media. I would direct everyone to my social media if they want to have a more interesting conversation on that subject. I think we can keep it a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, I think it's an interesting decision just to.
Yeah.
As Olympic athletes, we're always encouraged not to.
Yeah. So I
speak about
I think that
even without getting into specifics of what you're speaking.
So, yeah. How much time do we have? Okay.
Plenty of time.
There's a couple of things that I feel very strongly about in being an Olympian and specifically in being an Olympic champion. And that is, first of all, we're very fortunate to be able to represent the United States across the world in a lot of different ways. And what an honor that is to be able to do. But also the responsibility that comes with being a leader and a role model to kids and to the country that you represent. And to be able to do so thoughtfully and reasonably in all facets of life, I think is called for and necessitated through our own experiences, through the lessons that we learn, the perseverance that's required, the teamwork, the camaraderie, the togetherness. So many of those lessons are integral in public life. And to be able to kind of help raise the standard of our public discourse and the expectations for, what it is expected of all of us in terms of the treatment of each other and the moral and ethical expectations of our country at large. And it's just getting heavier and heavier. And
Keep going, Charlie.
I was really trying to be funny, earlier. But anyway, I think it's important to be able to stand up for what you believe is right. And I have a platform to do so, and I think as long as I approach that reasonably and with consideration for everyone's thoughts and feelings, then it's not just something I can do, it's something I should do.
Awesome. I would give it up for that. You see this thing?
That was a lot of big words, so I'm exhausted.
It's all good. Well, yeah, we'll go to Meryl now. We'll let Charlie recover over there. So what can we expect from you guys? I mean, I guess it's sort of interesting. You guys have known each other since obviously you were very, very young. Where do you guys see yourselves even in like 20 years? Or where do you see Charlie in 20 years?
Where do I see Charlie?
Let's just keep everything on Charlie right now.
I think we've been saying that one of the most beautiful things about not competing is our openness and our availability to sort of explore different territory and different ideas and trying to find different passions. And so to answer your question, I have no idea necessarily where either of us might be in 20 years. But I really hope that we take full advantage of this time in our lives where we can travel the world doing what we love, make a living doing what we love, but also remain open to exploring what else is out there for us. And as Charlie was just talking about, diving into things we haven't had the ability to dive into before. And so I know that's not an answer to your question, but
awesome things.
Awesome things.
And I just really quickly want to point out that I have great dog pictures also on my social media. So if you don't feel like getting into it per se, just go enjoy the dog pics.
We shall. I told you I was going to ask you about love on the dance floor.
Right.
Love on the floor.
Love on the floor. I'm sorry. Love on the floor.
No, go for it. Walked out.
Charlie's done.
So Charlie and I.
Good thing we have a partner, right? You can just take it from here, man.
It's exhausting when you do an interview by yourself, by the way. It's so nice to be able to go back and forth.
She was here by herself last time, Charlie.
Yeah.
You have no excuse.
Just gonna pour water on me.
So we met Cheryl Burke, one of the most well-known, fabulous professionals on Dancing with the Stars, professional dancers, and she had invited us to do a new concept show that she was creating called Love on the Floor in Japan, where Charlie and I happened to spend a lot of time for skating. And so basically the concept of the show is a certain evolution of a relationship. So it goes from passion.
No.
Or what does it start out as?
No, I think it's just like love, like falling in love. Falling in love. Sorry, I guess I should use the microphone. So it's like love and then passion.
Romance, right? Christy is romance.
So romance. So Christy Yamaguchi was romance, and she danced, and you all know who Christy is. So, and then passion, and then
Hurt.
Hurt. So it was like the breakup.
Yes.
I got to embody the breakup via dancing on the floor.
And then Cheryl was, I think, empowerment
Power,
and strength.
yeah.
So it's basically the evolution of a certain trajectory of a relationship, which I think was incredibly effective, and it's very emotional. So to be able to dive into that type of self-expression on the floor was really fun for us, and to be able to challenge ourselves again, dancing on the floor as opposed to the ice was fun, but very challenging. Like we continue to be surprised just how much work we have to do to make ourselves look adequate dancing on the floor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have some audience questions for you.
Yes, awesome.
Hi guys, my sister and I are huge fans, and we were wondering, Meryl, how you design your costumes.
That's a great question. Oftentimes, it's all
It's
Charlie.
Charlie.
He
Secret
slips-
talent
He
for Charlie
slips
White.
like designs underneath my door at night and just like, look at this one. Yeah, I mean, oftentimes I'll look through magazines, find pictures of like shapes and colors and fabrics that I like, and now Instagram is an awesome way to do that, because I'll look at certain accounts or hashtags or designers and just sort of screenshot pictures. And so when you go through my phone, it's like 80% screenshots of dresses. But
Do you have any big influences right now?
I really like Alexander McQueen's new line. It's a really interesting, I don't know if you follow fashion a lot, but it's a really interesting sort of combination of feminine, sort of ethereal, mixed with like a leather, sort of a much stronger, harder edge. So I don't know. I mean, it's definitely something I find fascinating, and it's been a really beautiful part of my experience on the ice, getting to design costumes.
All right, going back this way.
Hi. Do you have any warm-up rituals that you do before a big performance or anything?
Yeah, so we would usually get, like, for competition in particular, I mean, where you just want to know exactly how your body is going to feel, we would usually get to the rink about an hour before the competition began, jog around for maybe 10 minutes to warm up, stretch a little bit, and then start walking the program through, our competitive program through, on the floor together, to just sort of, like, we didn't listen to music, we didn't try to get hype, we just... It's hashtag hype. I don't, whatever the kids. I'm trying to connect to all kinds of people here.
I'm really excited to see this Dancing with the Stars tour right now.
We really just try to get in sync with one another and sort of feel the rhythm and just get as focused as possible. And so much of the warm-up really wasn't, I mean, yes, it was about getting our bodies ready, but getting our minds ready. And so much of ice dance, and what it comes down to oftentimes, is just not making any mistakes. And so just trying to make sure that we could get into a mental and physical preparedness of so that we wouldn't make any mistakes. Yeah.
And you guys didn't.
And we didn't.
Hi guys, how are you? I wanted to ask each of you, what would you tell an aspiring skater that wants to make it into the Olympics? What message would you give them?
Well, I would say one of the things, especially retrospectively, I feel like Charlie and I did really well is, just enjoying it. Like, I feel like the main reason we've been successful is because we genuinely love what we do. And if you can find that passion and you can find a love for what it is you do, that will undoubtedly translate into some sort of success. But B, I think setting small goals is really important. People have often asked us, like, did you always know you wanted to become an Olympic champion? And while like the Olympics were always sort of on our radar, Charlie and I really found joy in the little things, whether it was like, okay, we're gonna learn this element, or we really want to medal at the like junior national championships next year. And when you have those moments to celebrate success, and it's not like a 20-year goal until you can celebrate something or success, I think it's a much more healthy, reasonable, and enjoyable journey with that type of perspective. Yeah.
Should I also?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, you're looking at me like, don't say, don't say
I was not giving you the eye, don't worry.
Shh. No, I mean, I agree with Meryl. I think the first thing for anyone that's, I was almost gonna say for anyone doing anything, and it's almost applicable, but especially in figure skating, from the time you're young until you're ready to compete at the Olympics, the number one thing is that you have to find ways to have fun in training. You have to, because if it's not fun, it's work, and you're just not going to be as efficient. And just to be able to look forward to, even if it's just moments in the day, because let's be honest, a lot of it is going to be work, but to be able to enjoy the process, it just gives you such a leg up, honestly, in terms of how you're going to compete against everybody. And then to just work hard, and especially in combining those two things, whether it's a kid stepping on the ice for the first time, as a parent, you have to tell them, have fun and work hard. And if you do those two things, you'll progress and you'll continue to find joy. And if it's not fun, even when you're working hard and trying to find ways, then that's okay. That's okay too. It's okay to find other things. Figure skating isn't for everyone, just like 95% of the people. So
Awesome. We got a final question right here.
Hey guys. So I was just wondering, like, beyond the ice skating rink, like, how you guys consider what you guys are gonna do after your Olympic careers?
That is a great question, and one I ask myself every day. It's really hard, and that question really played a large role in our decision, whether or not we wanted to come back to competition or to return to the Olympics, because I think I speak for both of us, but of course I can really only speak for myself. I have absolutely loved figure skating since I was a little girl, and I knew every day going to the rink, even if it was a hard day, waking up earlier than I wanted to, I knew that I wanted to be on the ice and working in that direction of becoming a better figure skater. And so after the Olympics, there were definitely some very hard days for me when I realized, I don't necessarily have a purpose today. I don't necessarily know what my goal is next week, next month, next year. And that's kind of a scary feeling, but to be able to face that head on, and I'm sorry this is such a ridiculously long answer for your question, but to be able to face that challenge head on is one that I feel like I'm really trying to find the courage to do. And so I'm trying to listen to all of my interests, trying to explore all sorts of different things, finding some that I thought I'd be interested in that I'm not. So to answer your question, I have no idea, but I'm really working hard at figuring it out.
Just to come full circle.
We're thinking about just talking for a living. So if you could just pay us, if you guys could just pay us to talk. I mean, undoubtedly, we're very fortunate to be able to draw on all the experiences that we have. And, so long story short, I would say all the things Meryl just said, but she said them so well. Probably just going to play in the NHL, be a hockey. I mean, I played hockey for most of my life. No, I think it's part of the adventure that we're on right now is finding that next step. And clearly, we're thinking about it. And that's one of the reasons why we're here. We're inspired by this guy. I mean, look at him.
I'm inspired by you guys.
Shh.
I feel so out of shape, by the way. I interview Olympians, and I'm in the worst shape of my life.
I mean,
and I feel sad every time
he's a great.
interview.
I mean, not to suck up too much. Not to suck up too much. Just like the right amount to your host. But I mean, he's done such a great job of transforming from, an Olympian who represents the country so well to someone who represents himself and his family and the people that he works for so well. And so we're envious of him, and we will continue to work towards finding something that that will suit us as well as
I think you guys are already doing it. You're doing an amazing job, by the way. StarsOnIce.com. I think it's going to be an amazing tour. Who else is on tour with you guys?
Yeah, we've got Ashley Wagner, Gracie Gold, some of the big names, and then up and coming, Nathan Chen is going to be doing, I think, most of the shows. If you have never heard of him, just look him up on YouTube because he's insane.
You will definitely know his name. If you don't know it until Pyeongchang, he will be a household
If
name.
you don't know,
Nathan.
now you know. Okay.
Yes.
Now you know.
So, okay. Hashtag.
On that note, Charlie White, Meryl Davis, thank you guys so much.